Oh, let me tell you something. Busting makes me feel good.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Blockbusting, the podcast where we love to hate the movies. I'm your host, Jay Light. Joining me today, the host of the Cinema Boys podcast, Peter Vass and Sam Millman.
Hello.
Hey, Jay.
Hey.
Thanks for having us.
Dudes, so happy to have y'all. Haven't done an episode with two guests in a while.
Oh.
Wow.
You guys, it's a very special episode today.
Menage episode?
Menage episode, yes indeed. We're gonna get real greasy all over this table, I think.
I just came up with that on the spot, if you're wondering.
It's kind of fitting for the movie that you guys have come to talk about with me today. We're getting very uncomfortable and sexy in this movie. Is 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, yeah.
I'm nervous. Because
Is it your first Menage episode?
Yeah. I don't know what to expect, but I'm ready.
Just have an open mind.
Yeah.
An open heart. Open your eyes.
Open fly?
Just about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll be good to go. 50 Shades of Grey. This movie, I'd never seen it until you guys brought it to my attention. I've heard a lot about it.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I mean, it wasn't the worst, right?
I have seen worse movies. I've seen worse movies this year in theaters than 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, what was worse?
The worst movie I've seen so far in theaters this year, Assassination Nation.
Did you see
seen that?
I haven't, but did you see
No.
Rampage?
I did not see Rampage. The Dwayne Johnson movie, right?
Yeah,
Dwayne
see
The Rock
Rampage,
Johnson.
then we'll talk.
Is that bad?
It was pretty bad, and I'm all in for the blockbuster action movies. And The Rock. You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong with The Rock.
No. It was terrible.
You can go wrong with The Rock because I've seen San Andreas, and that was also very, very bad.
Did you guys see, what was that name of that movie that is it Skyscraper? The other one that just came out?
No, and I really wanted to, but Rampage put me in a really bad funk for a while, so I'll see it eventually.
I felt kind of burned by The Rock after I saw the last Jumanji movie.
Oh, you didn't like it?
No, not really. I think part of it was that I have had a lot of friends of mine after that movie came out who were all like, oh, it's great. It's such a nice surprise. And then I went to go see it and I was like, this is okay.
It's best to see without being hyped up, I'd say, because I thought it was going to be terrible, and then I ended up liking it. Not like I didn't think it was like good, but like I enjoyed it.
We also, not to brag, we got to go to the premiere.
This is true.
You guys got to go to the premiere of the
Randomly.
Jumanji movie?
So, great atmosphere. Probably would have liked it even if it was the worst movie ever, even if it was 50 Shades. But we saw The Rock in person, so we were overjoyed.
I'm jealous.
No, it was.
How'd you guys get into the premiere of this movie?
It was a friend. His girlfriend worked for Sony and had a couple extra tickets and asked us, and we immediately said yes.
That's one of those things that, like, I haven't made it to a lot. I've been in LA about 6 years now. I've never really done the whole, like, trying to get into premieres thing.
It's not. It's fine. It's not that exciting.
It doesn't seem that. I went to when Arrested Development came back on Netflix, however many years ago that was. My friend got tickets to that premiere, and because they were doing that thing where they give out tickets out in front of a movie theater, like the AMC in Burbank.
Yeah.
And he got the tickets. He was like, oh, this is cool. And then he went to try and register for it, and it said that it was full already. So he photoshopped new tickets. And we just showed up, and we dressed up nice, and we showed up with those, and they let us in. And then we tried to go to the after party, but I was taking a picture with the blue stair car in front of the after party, and I think that the security people at the party were like, these guys aren't supposed to be here.
What's the statute of limitations on photoshopping premiere tickets?
I hope it's at least 4 years, because
Okay.
that's about how long ago it was.
Is this the first time you've talked about it?
On air, yeah.
Wow.
I could be, I guess I'm opening myself up for whatever kind of
my
movie
God.
fraud-related prosecution there is for taking the spot of some other poor tourist
Oh my God.
who happened to be by the AMC Burbank that day.
Sam, start photoshopping.
Yeah, I know.
Let's get into another one.
I haven't used my Photoshop skills for that, but I should.
You should. It's
I should.
It's a good racket. Because they didn't even check that's got a barcode on it, right? And they didn't scan the barcode. They just looked at the ticket, printed out on paper, and they're like, okay, you're good.
Then they're asking for it.
It's all on them.
I agree.
Now, speaking of abuse, 50 Shades of Grey. This movie, how did you guys get into watching this movie anyway? Why would you put yourselves through this? You don't seem like the target demo for 50 Shades of Grey.
Right.
I could be wrong. I don't want to make too many assumptions.
No, you're right. And there are two of us, so it's even more confusing. But it's because we watched it for our podcast.
Fair.
And we usually watch good movies, or like, critically acclaimed or well-known popular movies. But this one, we just felt like we needed to do it because we hadn't seen it before.
A little change of pace for our podcast, and don't regret that at all. It was actually we had a lot of fun watching it. I don't know, because you watched it by yourself.
I watched it sort of by myself. Here's how I watched this movie. I watched it this morning. I had to clean. I was cleaning my apartment, and I had to have that. I had to have it clean. I have someone coming by, like, I'm to get rid of furniture. Like, I'm moving a whole bunch of shit, and I'm like working a job with crazy hours right now, so I'm just trying to get as much done in my free time as I can. So I was cleaning and watching it with my girlfriend, who was helping me clean shit. Now, she is a huge 50 Shades of Grey universe fan.
Oh.
And I think it's mostly ironically. Like, she knows that this is not a good movie and understands that it's not going to ever be good, but she has fun watching it. Kind of like, and that was the experience that I went in going. I was like, all right, this is gonna be bad, but I can try and enjoy it as much as I can.
Yeah, I think that's the mindset that we had as well, and I did enjoy myself during it because there are some parts that are just so bad you can like laugh at, and some pretty absurd lines. That, okay, one scene in particular that we really enjoyed was when they're having that negotiation scene at the table.
One of many in the movie.
Yeah, they kept negotiating the whole fucking movie.
The whole movie. Asking if they can negotiating on the negotiation.
Yeah. It was 30% negotiation, this movie. 20% pain, 20% pleasure. What am I at right now, 70?
20% just dates of them.
50% heart, 15% skill,
50%
concentrated power of will,
50% shades of fucked up.
50.
That's the best line. What's the line again?
50 Shades of
50 Shades of fucked up.
50 Shades of fucked up. Yeah.
There's some really from the jump. This movie is bad lines because the interactions with her and her roommate, even at the very front, they don't feel realistic. I also can't tell how old her roommate is.
It comes across as way too old to be your roommate. And then you find out later on that Anastasia is actually a virgin, but she also looks way older than
a virgin usually would be.
Right.
That hot.
I guess, you never know. You never know.
You don't know. What we're saying is, folks, you don't get hot and stay a virgin for that long.
Unless you're like super religious or something, but clearly she wasn't.
Anastasia Steele's not religious.
No.
We can agree with that.
No, she's not religious by any means. But she's living also with this roommate who's like kind of rude and bitchy and like stealing her food and making her cheat and go do her assignments for her.
Doesn't seem like a real friend or a good match.
No. It seems kind of like a weird toxic relationship.
It seems
as
like
a friendship.
It seems like really bad writing on from the author of 50 Shades of Grey.
I can't imagine what the person who wrote 50 Shades of Grey's just personal life is like. Based on how she can't have Anastasia Steele can't have a normal conversation. There's no normal conversations in the whole movie.
Yeah, we found out that 50 Shades comes from Twilight fanfiction.
Yeah,
so
that's
it all makes sense.
Yeah,
like after we watched the movie, we found that out. But everything kind of makes sense. And you've seen Twilight?
I have seen Twilight. There was an early episode for this one.
Also, very bad movie.
Yeah.
Actually, much worse movie than 50 Shades of Grey, I'd say.
I would argue that Twilight is actually more enjoyable than 50 Shades of Grey. I'm gonna be the detractor on this one, guys.
Controversy.
Oh my god.
I don't know. It's something about Twilight is the kind of movie I can't believe that I'm having this discussion right now, first of all. Twilight, when I watched Twilight, I went into Twilight knowing that the movie was going to be dumb because it's designed for a very different audience than 50 Shades of Grey is. Twilight is a movie made for teens, so you can get away with different dumb teen tropes in that movie. A lot of, high school stuff and like the sort of like the first love kind of things that are heightened, obviously, because there's vampires and werewolves involved. But it feels a little bit more normal. 50 Shades of Grey does not feel normal at all.
No, the whole world is very strange that they they built, and going back to like the poor delivery, and like Peter and I are filmmakers, and just thinking from that standpoint of just like shooting every day and like wrapping that day of like, are you like, how do you feel good about it? Like, or is that what they wanted?
For the 80s, like, do we got it?
We got it?
Yes.
Yeah, we're good. Like, we can move on.
Great
But some of the deliveries, it's so bad. But was that all they wanted, or was there a better performance?
I don't know. I mean, one of the things that I saw in doing some more research about this, I don't know if you guys saw this as well, but the director has admitted to regretting making this movie.
I bet.
Really?
Yeah. I guess big surprise there. Yeah, she was originally supposed to direct the other two movies in the trilogy. This is a trilogy.
Yeah.
That's wild. She was originally supposed to direct the other two movies in the trilogy, had disagreements with fanfiction author E.L. James, and left. And then later did interviews where she openly admitted how much of a mistake making this movie was.
Or was it a mistake not doing the other two because those were guaranteed work in the future that she might not be getting after the
$1
first
million
one?
paychecks. Easily.
Well, I guess it's like, I don't know. I get how much integrity do you have as a person after you make 50 Shades of Grey?
Well, I don't think you have any to accept the script in the first place. So I'm just saying, cash out while you can. Has she done any other movies since then? I'm curious.
I'm going to look that up right now. I don't think she has.
Then she made a mistake.
Sam Taylor Johnson.
Married to Aaron Taylor Johnson.
She made two episodes of Gypsy, a psychological thriller for Netflix, and A Million Little Pieces, based on the book by James Frey from Oprah, way back in the day. Throwback.
Oh.
So I'm just saying maybe she should have just directed the other two and then just vacationed the rest of her life. Maybe.
Or if she had back end on this first one,
Maybe she
can
can
vacation for the rest of her life. But yeah, it was shot. We thought it was shot well. Like the cinematography was decent.
One thing that cracked me up a lot in this movie was how pretty much every date that they went on was like him transporting her in a really like fancy way, and that was the date. Like they went on like a helicopter. I'm trying to think of the other ways.
They do take a car ride in one of his many cars to the forest and a dock.
Right.
They just kind of walk around and talk about nonsense. Fun date.
You don't know what he does, right? Like for work.
No, he's a businessman.
He's a
of some
businessman.
kind. Generic businessman. Lots of very cool lighting setups in his office building.
Is he a good actor in other things or just no?
He has a movie, HBO movie that just came out with Peter Dinklage that I thought looked pretty good.
The one about Hervé Villechaize, right?
Yeah. I want
He's
to
in
see
that.
him.
'Cause he's like distractingly bad in this movie. He's like a robot, I think, a machine.
Yeah, well, the character of Christian Grey, he's sort of mysterious, but yeah, he is like a robot, and he's not like I don't know what are any desirable qualities like that he has that she finds him, like what's appealing about him besides he's like a good looking dude.
It doesn't seem like there's much, because especially given how fast she falls for him.
Yeah, he's very creepy. He's very jealous. She leaves for like a day, and he flies in his private jet to see what she's doing.
Oh, this is part of the movie that I missed. I left right. I had to get over here right after he gave her the car for her graduation present.
He has some major jealousy issues, but he is good with an ice cube. So
Maybe that's all it takes. Maybe that's what we take away from this movie.
Yeah, how do you balance it? I don't know.
He's
He's got some things going for him.
he doesn't make love. He fucks hard.
He fucks, yeah. That's one of the best quotes of the whole movie, for sure.
I'm looking at the quotes from this movie on Netflix, on IMDb. Shout out to IMDb.
Sponsored?
I wish it was sponsored. I don't even have. Maybe. Hey, if you guys IMDb, if there's anyone IMDb listening to this, hook me up with a free IMDb Pro account.
Ooh,
That sounds
pricey.
How about that, guys?
That's a
There it is.
pricey.
Let's
Make that happen.
Pricey subscription. You know what my favorite quote is?
What's
I
your
don't know
favorite
if
quote?
Well, because there's more to it than just her saying it, but like, what's a butt plug?
That's a great line.
Because granted, yeah, you're a virgin. You maybe never come across one, but it is in the title or the name of it.
The fact that she, not only that, but right before that, she understands what both anal and vaginal fisting are. It's so clear. She has no qualms about having to understand what that is. She can't figure out a butt plug? Come on. Anastasia. Get it together.
Classic Anastasia moment right there.
That was one part of the movie that did make me laugh out loud out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Naturally. Not for how bad the dialogue was, not for how poor the acting was, just I felt genuine joy in that moment.
Moments like that make me wish I would have seen it in theaters. Just to hear people reacting.
Yeah, well, I don't think you would have got the reaction you wanted. Because I think people were, the main people that went to see it were so, like, diehard into this
But they
movie.
could have been laughing, like, for other reasons.
They probably were.
I think, well, because this is one of the things that I was also looking into was the way that 50 Shades of Grey was marketed. The marketing team did it in such a way to try and get people who were not fans of the book to come see the movie, because everybody knows that there are tons of fans of the book, because there are tons of fans of Twilight and tons of people who just wanted to see what it looked like, wanted to see if it was NC-17 or R-rated or whatever, and all the marketing just said curious. And that's how they got people in, because the marketing, this is a direct quote from the marketing director, speaking of fun quotes, we wanted to, let's see, our campaign gave people permission to see this film.
They're like, we're acting like you were going to see something you've never seen before in this hard R sex movie, but at the end of the day, it wasn't that bad. Like, they cut away from everything, and I mean, a couple spanks, that's it, really.
Yeah, I hear there's something at the very end of the movie, he spanks with a belt or something, right?
Oh, she wanted to. End of the movie, she's like, "Show me how bad it can be," or something like that. And
Spoiler territory.
spoiler, yeah, we are really into spoilers now. And he shows her, and she was not having it, but it wasn't that bad. I think it was just a couple.
She gets up and leaves after that, and it ends right there. She just gets in the elevator and leaves.
And they say each other's names.
And I bet. Oh man, I bet the second and third movies are just really intense if it ends like that.
I mean, it says it's 50 Shades Darker, so it has to be more
I don't even
intense.
know what that means. What did the
It
mark?
probably starts with spanks.
Probably.
Progresses, I'm sure.
More than spanks?
I mean, it didn't seem that bad.
She's getting
you know?
spanked by ice. That's
Oh my god.
that's the elevation.
ice spanking.
There are so many. I'm going to read some more choice Christian Grey robot lines here. What is it about elevators?
Wait, that was a quote?
That's a quote.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I'd see, but maybe some people just threw these into IMDb to see if these are real Christian Grey quotes or not. You want hearts and flowers? That's not something I know.
Yeah.
Real quote.
That's him, though. That's Christian.
Both those quotes do seem very Christian-esque.
I can't tell. I never took anyone in the helicopter. I never
Ooh.
had sex in my own bed. Never slept to anyone.
Maybe that's why it's so romantic. First person he's taken in the helicopter. What a date.
There's something about, I've talked about this before, but there's something about romantic movies. Why do romance movies always involve one person who's really fucked up? Why? What's appealing about that? You guys are filmmakers. You have
Maybe that
some
conflict.
study.
That conflict between the leads. I don't know. The desire to maybe change that person, or maybe getting treated shitty and it works. You can. I have no idea. I have no
Maybe
idea.
they're trying to make one of the characters more relatable for people, and the other one is someone that is not. So they put yourself in the shoes of the other person. I don't know. That's as good as I'm getting.
But why? I don't know. I just don't. I don't understand why audiences want to see. So I can understand why an audience would want to see 50 Shades of Grey. It's titillating. It's got sex. It's abnormal sex, quote unquote. Even though it's for anybody who's living on the coasts like us, we know. Okay, there's some weird stuff going on. We're probably a little bit more sexually advanced and experienced than the middle of the country.
And we're like, that's not that bad.
It's not that bad. Who hasn't thrown an ice cube around in the bedroom with your padded walls every now and again?
Amateurs.
I mean, we all have our red rooms here.
Yeah.
So
we're in one right now, actually.
I think this is the red room of the Comedy Store.
It's padded.
Yeah. Soundproof, sort of. There's
what are you
cameras set up.
Are you going to do something to us after this?
Don't worry. This actually, have you guys been in the basement here at the store before?
no.
This place, I'm sure you know some of the history of the Comedy Store. The basement, this is where they used to have tunnels that would run to the bar and the houses up the hill. So
Prohibition era?
Yeah, Prohibition tunnels, exactly. So you could run all your moonshine and your booze, and then the mob would take people down here and murder them.
Hey.
Fun times. Lots of ghosts
right.
floating around down here.
Ooh, I hope they don't latch onto us when we leave.
So no sex down here, guys. Just hauntings.
All right.
Haunted mansion
That's
style
cool.
stuff.
Fine.
It's cool.
That's cool.
Let me ask you guys this. You're filmmakers, you're directors, you make some things. If you were approached to make the 50 Shades of Grey movie, if they went to you instead of to Sam Taylor Johnson, and you decided to sacrifice your artistic integrity to make this movie, what are some of the things you would have changed? What would you have done different?
100% not cast Dakota Johnson.
Or the guy. That's the main thing we talked about.
So we're starting from the top here.
Yeah. Well,
Casting choices.
Well, we talked about this too on our podcast. It's like, this script's not good, but like, let's say you somehow convince Ryan Gosling to do it, who they wanted, but he turned it down. It's like, then potentially he has like a charm that makes the movie like watchable. Not saying it's going to be good, but like the casting definitely should have been
Does
better.
Gosling elevate this movie to Golden Globe nomination?
I think it might.
He's seductive. You never know.
Gosling's he's got that air about him. And this is like, when did 50 Shades come out? 2015?
Yeah.
This would have been post sort of the big Gosling coming out. He'd been in Drive at this point. He'd been in Blue Valentine. That other movie made by the same guy who made Blue Valentine. What's it called? Place Beyond the Pines. Mm-hmm. And so he's got sort of this dark. He's making a lot of movies where he's sort of a brooding character. It would have made sense for him to be Christian Grey and not be so cold and robotic and unfeeling. Like, I feel like he would have been a much more enjoyable watch than Jamie Dornan.
So you'd be into our version?
I would be from the jump, but who do you cast instead of Dakota Johnson?
Is it Emma Stone? Are we doing a Gosling Stone pairing again?
Is this the La La Land that never was?
Sexual version of La La Land. Yeah, no musicals in this one, but I could see it working, Scarlett Johansson, also great. But I can't buy her as a virgin for sure. Emma Stone,
can't either.
I don't know, maybe. She's too old now, though. Is she a virgin in Superbad? I don't know.
I think
Yeah.
she doesn't seem like she'd be a virgin in Superbad. She seems too cool.
She was cool. Did you see Bad Times at El Royale?
No, not yet. Is she? She's not in that, is she?
Dakota Johnson. I was just wondering if she was any good in that. So I don't know why I don't like her.
There's something about her, and here's the thing. I remember watching her on Saturday Night Live right after 50 Shades came out, and she was funny on SNL. Like, she did a good job. It's clear that she's capable of doing good work, but I can't imagine watching a movie where that happens.
You know, I also thought the music throughout was like very over dramatic, which also like led to it being so cheesy because it could have been like based on the performances, like they should have played around with the tone a little because it was like very serious, and then he seems like a murderer, right? And
He
then,
does.
and the music didn't help that.
I mean, she even calls him a serial killer in a hardware store.
Yeah, he was buying everything you'd imagine a serial killer would have.
And she just kept going along with it.
But she also seemed kind of I couldn't. That was the thing about Dakota Johnson's reactions at the very beginning of the movie too. Her acting made it seem like you couldn't tell whether she was. It seemed like she was into it too early on, and I don't know if that's a part of the bad writing of the movie, or if that's bad acting, or if it's just some terrible cocktail of both.
What was their meet cute in the movie? It was
She
her
trips going into his office.
That was it. And then the rest was history. She
Yeah.
drops all her stuff. And what was her job at the company? Was she was an intern?
Oh no, she was going there to do an interview for her terrible roommate, who is part of the school newspaper.
I think that's maybe why she latched onto him so fast, was he represented all these things that like she didn't have, or like something that was gonna like help her. Like he's successful and like good looking and confident, and she had like a crappy job, and she was like struggling
She
and
like
she
working
had,
at a hardware store and
she had nothing like going for her.
English lit major.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's what they're trying to do.
I think that she could have been, and I'm just saying this because of my knowledge of the sugar daddy, sugar baby industry.
Hey,
If she had just signed up for a seeking arrangements account, she wouldn't have had to put herself in all of this peril. She
Yeah.
could have just had a dude buying her nice things.
think
You don't have to sign contracts and negotiate and
just check a box that says you're not into that and move on.
move to LA. Very easy.
Dude, they got billboards for it everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I should look into it.
Sugar mamas?
Yeah.
Sugar mommies?
Yeah, why not?
I'd be down for that.
I think
where they at?
I think you guys could pull it off. I think you guys could be sugar children.
All right.
Sugar boys. Sugar boys
We should
together.
start a website or an app.
Sugar
children. Oh my god, you want to go in?
I'm in.
All right.
Oh, of course.
You came up with the name of it, so
Sugar children. We're gonna run up against sugar models. That seems to be based on the billboards, the big popular one around here.
Well, we can't compete with that, but we offer something different.
We do.
Yeah. You get two of us at the same time.
Maybe three.
Yeah.
Three, yeah.
I can't look. I'm not gonna count myself out. I'm not gonna be a silent partner in this.
No, you're in.
Let's negotiate.
We need a longer table.
We need Christian Grey negotiation tactics at the table here.
If there was a movie that was this bad and you saw it in theaters, because you guys didn't see it in theaters, you watched it for your podcast.
Yeah.
Right? If you saw this movie in theaters, would you walk out?
No.
You guys walk out, guys?
I don't think I've ever walked out of a movie. Maybe once, but I can't remember.
I've walked out of 2 movies in my life. It was Solaris, the George Clooney.
Steven Soderbergh, George Clooney?
Yeah, 2002. And I walked out of Barbershop 2. Those are the 2 movies I walked out of.
You had high expectations for Barbershop too.
I thought Clooney would be in Barbershop 2, so I was disappointed, and I was confused back then. Ice Cube and Sol. Anyway, no, so I walked out of those, but since then, I haven't. Rampage was really bad, but if I'm not walking out of Rampage, I think I'm like in it.
That's how I felt about it. And I didn't walk out of Assassination Nation. I came very close to walking out of Red Sparrow. That Red Sparrow was
Ooh, I didn't
pretty
see that
garbage.
one.
Pretty long though, right?
Long.
Yeah.
And I saw that when I still had Movie Pass, so I felt like I could get away with it. And now I don't have Movie Pass, so it feels like I'm wasting my own money sitting in a movie theater. I've walked out of Wild Hogs. That's the only movie I ever walked out of.
What were you expecting seeing Wild Hogs?
A fun romp with some dads. some William H. Macy killing it, I guess. I don't know.
Some sugar daddies.
Some sugary daddies.
Four sugar daddies.
Riding around. Where's that movie? Let's have Dakota Johnson competing for the love of multiple sugar daddies in one movie. That seems like a fun. That's the closest fun take we're gonna get on a romantic comedy this year.
Well, I think we know the next script we can all write together. It's right there.
Sugar
Yeah.
Children?
We got to get the script to Dakota, or the idea to Dakota first. I'm not writing this on spec.
Yeah, we get her attached. We get the funding. Guaranteed.
Is there a movie that you guys would recommend people watch instead of 50 Shades of Grey?
Like a movie that we like?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be. It didn't even have to be in the same genre. What's the movie you guys think people should watch instead of this?
Well, if you want some nudity and some sex, one of my favorite movies is Boogie Nights.
Great choice. Good movie. Love some PTA.
Mine is very different. It's a completely different genre.
Dunkirk,
yeah.
No.
Do you want to go completely opposite here? Well, my favorite movies are The Lord of the Rings, so get on for the ride. Watch all 3. Have yourself a very, very exhausting day.
Very different. Very different.
Very
picks.
different. No
From
sex
50
at all.
Shades of Grey,
No sex at all.
But hey, good choices
Thank you.
and a couple of good cinema boys.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I really appreciate it. But I need to start that sentence over is what I need to do. I really appreciate you guys coming on and making me watch 50 Shades of Grey because it is bad and I didn't like it, but I did have fun.
Great.
I'm glad we
Paying
could.
attention while using Lysol disinfectant wipes.
I'm glad we could give you this knowledge going forth.
Thanks, guys. And where can the listeners find your work? Obviously, the podcast you can subscribe to.
Cinema Boys Podcast. We have Bad Weather Films on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatnot. That's us.
That's us.
That's us.
That's us. This is us.
Yeah, and we also did This Is Us.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. You can find me at Diet J on Twitter and Instagram, jlightcomedy.com for show dates. And if you like this podcast, then why don't you subscribe and leave a review and all that fun stuff so more people can see the things that we talk about and hear the things we talk about. Because that's how podcasts work. You hear them, you don't see them. Boy, oh boy.
That's true.
It is.
Everything you said.
Guys, this has been Blockbusting. Go see something good for a change.